Hey guys, it's Angel here, and you're watching On Purpose with Angel Brantley. But maybe we should say On Purpose with the Brantleys.
Maybe so.
Because this is my husband, Marquise.
It's two of us.
It's two of us, and I am really excited. He knows. I'm excited that he is here with me talking today. I asked him to do this, and not only did he say yes, but he like prepared and got ready. So I was excited about this. So this is like wife heaven right now. Yes, so if you watch these videos, I want to say thank you. I believe that it is our goal here is to just encourage, motivate, and inspire you and provoke you to be the very best version of yourself. So this is a married edition. We're going to share with you our story, or just a little bit of it, in hopes that you will be encouraged and inspired on today. Right? All right, so we're going to dive in really quickly. We have our phones because we're going to stay on track. The first thing we want to kind of tell you about is how we met. You want to take that first?
How we met? Sure. We met through a mutual friend. Shout out to Danisha.
Hey girl.
If you're liking this, if you're watching this, Danisha, subscribe. But I was living in DC. We were living in Baton Rouge, and our friend Danisha from Baton Rouge, she was visiting DC for an internship, and she met me, became cool, and she ultimately said, "Hey, I think y'all would be good friends." So she introduced us.
Yeah, I think it's key to kind of zoom in there because she did not introduce us for us to be a couple. Her goal was she saw similarities in us.
She just thought we'd be good friends.
She was like, you guys would be good friends. And it's important to note, since we're shouting out friends, Jamaica, my really good childhood friend, and we're still friends today. She was also that connecting piece. You know, she and Danisha had very good friendships, and so I was Danisha's friend by way of Jamaica. And so Jamaica shared things about me, and we would, you know, talk about Danisha and what was going on there. And I think through their friendship, they made the connection that Marquise and I would be good friends, or potentially be good friends. But they never had the motive of us becoming a couple. Now, I did think that was the case in the beginning, and I was like, I don't know about that, but...
You didn't like me?
No, I didn't know you, so it wasn't about liking you. I didn't know you.
If you didn't like me, just say you didn't like me.
I wasn't in the best season of my life, and I hadn't had the very good experiences when it came to guys. Like, it was just like, you know, they were here one day, next day, or I was, in my mind, enough one day and the next day I wasn't. So I was like, I wasn't ready for that. I was also had recently got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, so I was dealing with physical challenges. My mom was dealing with health challenges and just rejection challenges as well. So I wasn't really interested, but needless to say, obviously we at least became friends, right?
Yeah.
Right.
If you didn't like me though, my feelings ain't gonna be hurt. You can say it.
I didn't like you at first, but I like you a lot now. Awesome. So the next thing that we were going to kind of talk to you guys about is our personalities, which if you watch it already, you kind of can tell we have different personalities, and but I believe with time we've learned to work them, and they've complemented each other. What's funny is that when we were friends, I loved everything about his personality.
So you did like me?
Yes.
Okay.
I started to like you at some point. I didn't like you the first day or the second day, but after about a couple of weeks, I was like,
13th day.
Yeah, I was like, I think I kind of like him. But I really enjoyed his personality. He was light. You know, he always just made me laugh and made me feel good. He was very considerate and just very present as a friend. I mean, we would text, email, Google chat, Facebook. Like, we would communicate multiple ways.
We were terrible employees.
But we would communicate in several different ways. And if I'm honest, I think like the first thing that allowed me to, I guess, like create a level of attraction was that he was consistent. The first day that he texted me, he was like, Angel, and I always tell the story, and it's still funny to me, but he sent like a bunch of A's, N's, G's, E's, and L's, and was like, Angel, and he said, I'm gonna call you in like 13 minutes. And I was like, if you crazy enough to say this, I can be very literal, so I'm like, okay, if you're gonna say 13 minutes, I'm gonna watch the time. I didn't realize at the time, you were just being funny.
It was all part of the plan.
It was all part of the plan.
Yes.
Okay. But I didn't realize, like you told me you did not mean to. I'm like, don't lie. So I thought, like, we said 13 minutes. He didn't really keep up with the time, but I did. And he actually did call me in 13 minutes.
God's good.
God will cover us even in our ignorance, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he kept his word, and I was like, I can do this. I could do someone that says one thing and they actually follow through with it.
You don't say you can do someone that we weren't married yet, so no doing nobody.
No, yeah.
What's happening?
Okay.
Nobody's
I can engage in a relationship with this person, if they can keep their word, just by something as simple as calling me in 13 minutes. So that's really cool. But as you can see, like I said, our personalities, Marquise is very, he's laid back, funny. I'm very
not laid back.
Not laid back.
Not funny.
I am funny. My friends think I'm funny.
Your friends love you.
I think I'm funny. My brothers think I'm funny.
I love you, baby.
But Marquise does not think I'm funny. And I used to be bothered by that. But I'm okay with that.
That's good. That's good.
Because
That's good.
he still married me, and
Yes.
I'm exactly what he needs.
And
So,
we're still married.
and even with my lack of funniness, you're sticking around. So,
Comedic ability.
okay. High five. All right, you want to tell them a little bit about your personality?
Man, my personality. I am very methodical.
Big word.
Yeah, very. Logistics have to make sense. Yeah, very calculated. Those are parts of my personality. And you said something important. I think I used to put too much emphasis on the differences in our personality, and that caused just young in marriage early on, it caused a struggle. But I started thinking about how you use the word compliment, how we compliment each other. So I remember just a part of my personality, just me. I can be very literal as well, and words they shape the way I interact and how I react to things. So that word different, for whatever reason in my mind, it meant that something was going to be challenging or hard.
Yeah.
So I remember I started saying we're not necessarily different, we're complementary.
Yeah.
And that just the difference in those words, it helped me embrace. I was much more willing to embrace that, or the type of personality I have. It's much more willing to embrace complementary versus just being different. Different sounds like, it's gonna be rough for us.
Yeah.
Complementary means, or sounds like, okay, we're gonna be able to help each other.
Absolutely.
Strengths and weaknesses can balance better.
Absolutely. I guess this is a little off, but how?
We're off. So that's
Yeah. Do you feel like you're still challenged with that in our marriage today, or with that awareness? It's not so much of a challenge.
Not anymore. Yeah, I really just, and the thing that's helped, I'm not challenged with it anymore, but the thing that has helped me is just, I think I have expressed gratitude, and I'm just thankful for our differences and
Yeah.
the way we complement each other, and that really came through just expressing that gratitude and just thanking God, really, that we do have these differences, because early on, I think that a big challenge early on also is I thought I was mature, and I thought that I had more together than I actually did.
Yeah.
But now, I just realized that, man, there's so much I don't know and so much I have to learn. So many ways I can still improve, and I know that God showed me a special part of you, because He knew that you had a lot of things that I needed, that I still need. So that's why I can embrace it a lot better.
Yeah, I think for me, it's the same. I've learned to embrace it a lot better. Because honestly, I would say that I was more of a people pleaser. So the fact that we had differences, it's almost like I internalized it and wanted to be what I thought you needed me to be. Does that make sense to you? So I put a lot of pressure. It wasn't from you. It felt like it was from you, but really it was me wanting to like force myself into being what I thought he needed or what he wanted. And I think a lot of freedom has come from me in our marriage, or within the premises of our marriages, because I've learned like actually who God has created me to be, and who I am, and who I'm becoming, who I've become, and who I'm still growing into being is exactly what you need, even when there's tension, even when there's when it's not easy. I'm still what you need. And so me even taking a position of like confidence and a boldness to be who I'm supposed to be in a marriage, I think has brought a lot of fruit in our marriage as well. Because what I used to get frustrated about and wouldn't say, now I'm able to say it, and you receive it because you hear what I'm saying. Obviously I have to look at how I package it for you still. Marquise is not going to argue and you're not going to yell. So it's like, if I come to you on 10, then I'm not going to get the results that I desire. So I still have to be mindful about that. But when I do bring things to you, it's with more confidence and boldness, not to control, but to just say like, hey, this is what I believe. This is how I feel. And or in times it's like, this is what I'm hearing from God. And I think even that for you, confidence is important. So me being that has helped you receive better from me as well. So
that's another part of my personality. Confidence is attractive to me, and I respond to it and I receive it well. When there's insecurity, I don't know, there may be a lot of people, but when there's that timidity and insecurity, it's not received as well.
Yeah, and I, in all honesty, like I don't take that as a shot. Like I came into the marriage with tons of insecurities and tons of trauma that I needed to address within myself. But the beauty of being married has been is like God has shown up within my marriage to help heal some of those things. And I thought that he was doing so much for me, but in turn, as I've healed, you know, we joked about this the other day, like I dealt with some of my stuff and now he's like, I'm broken.
I'm an emotional wreck.
I'm an emotional wreck. But
I'm an emotional wreck right now.
he has poured into me, and so I'm stronger. And in this time of like growth and development and feeling like, okay, I need to figure some things out here, I'm able to just pour back into what you was just willing to do for me for years, first in the beginning of our marriage. And so honestly, it is my pleasure and my honor to do that for you, because I know what it was to have challenges and to feel like you're broken, but you don't really understand why, you know? And so that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to acknowledge that. So obviously we do have different personalities, but we've learned to allow those different things to, instead of being different, help complement our relationship. And I think doing a lot of that work prior to having kids helped us be better prepared for parenting, because we even parent different.
You don't have to think. We know.
Words matter.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think. No.
We know.
That has helped us.
Mm-hmm.
And so, even though we parent different, we're able to complement each other in parenting as well. And there's times where he may like lose it and I'm calm, or I lose it and he's calm. And even in this season, he shared with me, like, I really want to be more intentional with the girls. And I'm like, me too. And a part of that for him was like, I want you to think about being more gentle with them. Like, Marquise is very, like, I'll look you in the eyes. I'm gonna, how do you say, like, Jack Pearson them. If you watch, if you watch This Is Us, you know, Jack as a father, he will touch their face and talk to them. And I'm more like, girl, you need to do this. But being able to humble myself and bring myself down and to look them in the eyes and just really, it doesn't mean that I'm not firm and clear on what I'm saying, but willing to come down so they can hear me better and understand me. And so I'm working on that in this season for sure. But because we've worked so much on helping complement each other, he was able to tell me that, and I received it. And it wasn't just his desire, now it's become a desire of mine. I already wanted it, but it was in a different way. And so now you sharing that allowed me to kind of like merge our desires together, and really, I'm really working and believing God that I'm not a bad mom. Let me make that clear.
You're a great mom.
But thank you. But I do know that this is a very important season of the girl's life, and so what I plant today we'll eat the fruit of that later on. And so I really want to be intentional with what's happening in this season of our lives. Is there anything else you want to say about that?
I don't think so. Maybe on another episode.
Maybe on another episode.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. That's agreement. You already promising to come back?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Maybe.
you.
Maybe. No promises.
Well, promise me.
Promise.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
What's next?
The next thing is, let's go with what bonds us.
What bonds us?
Like what brings us together? I like to use the word like our anchor. Mm-hmm. Our anchor is, if you watch anything on this channel, you would probably already guess it, but our anchor is our faith in God, our relationship with God. And
it's probably the thing that Danisha and Meek saw from the beginning that caused them to assume that we'd be really good friends. Absolutely.
And you know, I think the beauty in us acknowledging that is that I don't desire to change Marquise, but there's things that I may see that he needs to work on. I can literally go to God about that, and I can go to him. But being able to like bring us, we both kind of come back to the feet of Jesus around situations, I think really helps us do the work that's required to make a marriage work, to make a relationship work. You're not gonna be all butterflies and rainbows every day. And so there's times where it's like, my flesh is saying, I don't like him today, but the truth of the matter is that I love him. But the truth of the matter is that I love him, and my love for him brings me to the feet of Jesus to say like, hey, how can I show up for my person in this time? Or what will you have for me to do to help him in this time? What does that look like for you?
What question are we on? Oh, bond. All right. Forgot it for a second. What bonds us?
Where were you?
I was lost in your eyes. But
oh, okay.
That happens.
That happens.
Gotcha. Especially with these lashes.
Especially. Answer the question.
I think just to dig a layer deeper, that is our anchor, our faith, our belief, our relationship. I think more so our seriousness and just our genuineness in wanting to really be a follower of Christ. Not just, we believe.
Absolutely.
That's one thing. we have genuinely chosen to follow
Absolutely.
and model our lives and pray before we make big decisions. Actually learning to pray before any decision.
Yeah.
And like I said, I guess I'm stick with that word, genuinely making efforts to follow, to raise our kids to be godly kids who turn into godly teens and godly adults.
Absolutely.
You know, and hopefully godly spouses and parents as well. That's just something we really take very seriously.
As
Both of us.
individually, it's important to us.
Individually
And collectively.
and as a unit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you could have two quote unquote Christians in a relationship, you know, but everybody's definition of being a Christian isn't necessarily the same.
Yeah.
So we are very aligned with what we believe it means to be a Christ follower.
Absolutely.
And that, I think that is what really gorilla glue bonds us. Flexi seals us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, as we're sitting here talking, we're really thinking about like, man, although we're doing a lot of work and seed planting and nurturing and training and all that with our kids right now, I can already see that desire in them. Like they want to please God. And so
You can see it?
yeah,
I can't see it.
I can see it.
Okay. I need
They
to
don't
look.
always express it in the way that you and I are capable of doing it, but
Right.
you know, I can tell a sense of like that wasn't right.
Yeah,
You know, and I want to do it right even when I do it wrong. And so the desire to do something or to be a Christ follower isn't absent of mistakes, but it's being able to acknowledge it and make the correction.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like I see that in them. We may have to talk them through it, but when they see it, you can tell the posture changes, and that they want to. Now, doesn't mean they're gonna need to remind her again the next day or a few hours, but I can tell that their heart is softened enough to receive seed that's gonna grow and allow them to be solid in their relationship with God. And so I think that's by way of the work that we have done and that we're still doing, and that it's a work that's very open before them, that's gonna allow that to be a space where they'll grow and develop their personal relationship. And I think that work that we've done is really going to benefit generations. Like we thought it was just for us, but that's generational work. The work that we decided that we're like, I'm not giving up. I'm gonna show up for this person every single day, even when it's hard. We're going to see the fruit of that for generations to come. And so I like that's the way I see it.
I like legacy.
Legacy, absolutely. We only have one more question, so
You got another question?
yes, and that is
What they sent in?
what they sent in. Okay, you're projecting. Okay, all right. What was there a struggle season?
No.
Absolutely.
No, it's been perfect.
Absolutely.
It's been great 10 years.
Almost
It's
11.
been perfect, flawless.
Yeah, that's not the truth. What would you say? What was our like?
We have none. We have no struggles.
Our struggle was the absolutely beginning of our marriage. Would you agree?
Yes. First few years.
What's the number? What would you say?
I'm not good with timelines, babe. I don't know, what, 2.5-ish years or so?
I would land there too. You typically say 2, and I'll say 2.5.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember another rough half year.
Another. Oh, so it used to be 2, but then you remember the half.
Yeah.
Got you. So you added those together.
Yeah.
But the first 2.5 years of our marriage was bad.
We used to fight. Remember that time you hit?
I don't.
Alright. We didn't fight like that.
We never fought, but we were very unkind.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, we were very unkind. We did fight with our mouths.
We fought emotionally.
Or emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Or for me, I fought with my mouth, and Marquise fought with silence.
We fought telepathically.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of telepathic brawls in our house.
Yes. But I like to joke and say, like, man, we're not without challenge. Absolutely, we still have challenges, but nothing has touched the surface or scratched the surface of what the first 2.5 years were.
Yeah.
It was rough, and I'm so glad that we didn't give up, because the fruit of the work that we did is just like, man, like, I'm so glad I didn't give up on this.
I didn't think it was gonna make it.
I didn't either.
I think so.
Yeah, but we did.
I didn't think you was gonna make it. That's another episode.
That's another episode, but he did not think I was gonna make it, and neither did I. So, but we struggled for 2.5 years, bad, but we have had challenges since then.
Yeah.
But the work that we did in those 2.5 years, I think, equipped us to handle what has happened beyond that, and that will happen in the future.
What helped us through? I was ready that somebody else asked that question. What helped us get through those tough years? What would you say?
I would say we decided to work together.
I was gonna say that.
To work together.
You read my notes?
I didn't read your notes,
I was gonna say that.
but I mean, I think that's our overall, over the years of us telling this story,
Yeah.
that has been the common thing for us in regards to, we used to do things separate. You know, you were doing your thing.
We were trying to solve these problems individually. We were
Yeah.
trying to solve some married problems as individuals.
Yeah.
I think was a big problem.
Absolutely.
And one day it hit us like, hey, we should talk about this together
Yeah.
and come up with a plan together since we're together.
Right. Since we're
That makes sense.
right.
We were dumb. We was dumb. We were
Real.
dumb. We were dumb.
Yeah.
We not that dumb no more.
No. But I think that was the breaking thing for us. We also decided that we would I think we both have different perceptions of how this came about, but we decided that we would do what we would have wanted to be doing had we not been in a disagreement.
That was a good decision.
And so that looked like talking but holding hands.
While we was beefing.
While we like in a heated discussion holding hands. Or
It's hard to argue with somebody when you're holding hands.
but it was, you don't remember this, but there was times like I would get so frustrated because I struggle with frustration. I would get so frustrated, he would like bring it in.
Really? I do that.
And he acts like I remember it, and maybe I remember it because it was so impactful for me. But he would ask me.
I wasn't that dumb.
He would tell me to hug him, and honestly, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be loved and seen and appreciated by him. So that hug was, even in the moment of frustration, provided that feeling for me. Even when it was hard, it was like that hand was like, but I'm still here. That hug was like, I won't leave. And I think I began to see not just, you know, my husband, but I saw God in our marriage. Like, God was empowering him to do what the word says that God will never do. He says he will never leave or forsake us. And God was working through him to show me that he would never leave or forsake me through my husband. And that also empowered him to show up in ways that he didn't even know he could in a marriage when it was tough and hard. So,
That's what he was doing. That's good. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. That was definitely God, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I don't even know if I could say that I knew that's what it was in that moment. But as I sit back and I reflect, you know, I like to reflect a lot. When I reflect back on those things, it's like, man, God was showing up for me, and I was beginning to experience the living word of God through my marriage. Because there were times I would wake up and I'm like, he's still here? Like, he's supposed to be gone, because I felt like I was going to be abandoned. And so when he was still there, I'm like, man, this is what God means. And so,
You're still here.
and you're still here. And I'm still here.
Look at that. Look at God.
Yeah, so our recorder stopped, but I think that was our last question anyway. We just wanted to kind of come and share a story. I know I come here a lot to share things about life, lessons, the Word of God, homeschool, but a big part of my life is of the work that has been done in my husband and I's marriage, and because of the work that we've done together collectively, it's also empowered me to just individually do work and grow and develop, and the same for him. And we're eating the fruit of the work that we've done.
Some good fruit.
Collectively and as individuals. And so I again want to thank you for doing this, because you know that this is important to me, and I asked, I said, hey, I would love to drop this for people on Valentine's Day. And so
Happy Valentine's Day.
thank you.
That's your gift.
This is my gift.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
This is emotionally expensive for me.
Yes.
So
I do appreciate it. All jokes aside, I appreciate it. I appreciate that you prioritized it, and that you put forth effort. I really, really do appreciate it. I know that this is time that you could be doing something else, but that you prioritize something that I desire. So I love you so much, and I appreciate it.
just don't tell my boss.
We appreciate you guys watching. We hope that we encouraged, motivated, and inspired you to be the very best version of yourself as an individual, but also today within your marriage and your relationships. We love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.